I was buttering toast when Ray, my stepfather, flipped the kitchen light off and on like a cop at a window and said, "You won't need that hand today." Ordinary morning. Shocking sentence. I looked at my palm at the violin rosin dust still faint in the lines from last night. I decided not to ask what he meant. I decided to go anyway. I didn't know then why he wanted me quiet, but that truth was already moving toward me dark and fast. My name is Mina Tran. 20 years old, graveyard shift baker at a strip mall grocery, and a violinist because the bow taught me to breathe when the house didn't. I'd been rehearsing for months, mornings, nights, lunch breaks where I ate standing up with the metronome ticking on my phone. The audition was for a full scholarship at Northwood Conservatory, 2 states away, and a lifetime from this kitchen with the burnt sticker on the oven and the smell of Ray's menthols ground into the grout. Mom scrolled at the table, her nails clicking like impatient metronome beats. "Big day," she said, without looking up. "Not pride. Weather report." "Warm-ups start at 9, I said. "I'll catch the 7:40 bus." Ray snorted into his coffee. "Whole city's gonna stop for your fiddle. He's 45, ex-roofer, part-time bar philosopher, full-time collector of reasons other people owe him. He likes to pretend my violin is a toy until he needs me to play something for his drinking buddies, and they call me kiddo and prodigy in the same breath." Theo patted in hair sticking up, hugging his stuffed turtle by the fin. "He's 8. He leaned against my hip. "Play the fast one later," he asked. "If they let me," I said, tapping the turtle's shell. "The fast one was our secret. The one that made him laugh even when Ray was loud." I took my case from behind the couch and checked the latches. Strings, fine bridge, straight bow hair tightened to a finger's width. My dress was forest green, simple sleeves to the elbow because stage lights can be cruel. I pinned my hair up so it wouldn't tickle my face mid-shift. Everything about me felt steady. That steadiness was new-earned mine. Ray leaned back watching. "You going in?" that he asked. "Looks like a church curtain." "Looks like not your business," I said before I could stop myself. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Careful. Hands are fragile, doors are heavy." I rinsed my cup, heart thudding. I've learned to catalog small threats the way you catalog groceries. Note them, bag them, carry what you can. I slung my case over my shoulder and kissed Theo's hair. "Back for dinner," I told Mom. She waved a hand. "Don't make a mess when you get back." Outside, the air was damp and neon bright from last night's rain. Ray followed me to the driveway like he had forgotten a word and needed to fetch it. "I'll give you a ride," he said, casual like the smoke between his fingers. "I'm fine with the bus." "What, too good for my car?" His voice dropped. "Get in." Arguing takes time I didn't have. I put the case gently in the trunk, eased it to the right so it wouldn't shift. I bent to adjust the strap. The trunk slammed. Pain exploded through my left hand so bright I saw static. For a second there was no sound, just the kind of silence that makes you think your body has shut off. Then my own breath came back as a sharp hiss. The metal edge had caught my fingers across the knuckles. I yanked back, stumbling, clutching my hand to my chest. Blood beaded in a neat line like a red staff on the back of my fingers. "Oh," Ray said, theatrical. "Didn't see you there." He didn't open the trunk. He didn't look sorry. He looked pleased with how well things fold when you press hard. I swallowed tasting metal. "Keys," I said. My voice sounded like it belonged to someone older, someone done. He dangled them. "Bus is quicker," he said, and dropped them into his pocket. "Fine." Decision made. I wrapped my hand in the clean dish towel from my case, the one I used to wipe rosin off the strings. I didn't ask for ice. I didn't give him the satisfaction of seeing if the violin was okay. I walked 3 blocks to the stop, each step charting the pain. Thumb throbbing. Index fire? Middle worse than fire. Ring numb in that dangerous, sneaky way. The bus grumbled up, smelling like wet wool and old coffee. I stood the whole ride because sitting felt too much like surrender. A woman in scrubs glanced at my hand and offered me a packet of gauze. "Keep it clean," she said. "Tight, but not too tight." "Thank you," I said. People who fix things for a living always sound like they've already seen the end and it's survivable. The arts center rose out of the block like someone had dropped a music box among empty storefronts. Inside, voices overlapped. Someone hummed, Scales' shoes squeaked on the floor. Parents arranged flower bouquets on their laps and whispered about traffic. I checked in and the volunteer wrote Mina Tran Violin on a sticker, as if putting my name in print could make it safe. Backstage, I found a corner near the faded velvet curtain and flexed my hand slowly. The swelling was already a soft hill under the skin. I could still press down on the A string if I hugged the fingerboard with the side of my finger, not the pad. Ugly solution, but sound is sound. Cora slipped in like a gust of espresso. "She's 21, my friend from the bakery who can carve roses out of frosting with a plastic knife. You look like a forest and a warning," she said. Then saw my hand. "Tell me who and I'll tell him something he can't forget." Later I said, "I need you to do me a favor now." I handed her my phone. If I pass out mid-bach, film it from a flattering angle. Her eyes softened. I'm your anchor, remember you play. I catch. The other violinists floated on and off stage metronomes of nerves. When the stage manager crooked a finger at me, my heart knocked once and then found tempo. I stepped into light. The hall swam slightly. The judges sat like statues with pencils. No Ray, no Mom. That absence burned and soothed at the same time. I tucked the instrument under my chin, let my left hand tremble once, and then fall still. Bow to string. First note. Pain isn't a scream, it's a conversation. Mine said, are you sure I said keep going? Each shift up the neck was a negotiation. I shaped phrases like I was carrying heavy boxes up a tight staircase. The Sarabande's slow grief did what it always does, it told me the truth, but in a way I could stand to hear. A girl in row 3 had tears in her eyes. I knew then the sound was making it past the wound. On the last note, my hand finally shook. The bow wavered. I held still until everything stopped vibrating, air strings, ribs. Then I lowered the instrument and bowed. The applause was real, not polite, real. A silver-haired judge stood. Miss Tran, she said, voice gentle but exact. May I see your hand? I showed her the makeshift bandage. She nodded once like this confirmed something she already suspected. We don't reward self-harm, she said. We reward courage paired with judgment. You have the first, don't lose the second. She set a card on the edge of the stage. Call me tomorrow morning. We'll arrange a private audition when you're treated. Heat pricked behind my eyes. Relief is its own kind of pain. Thank you, I said. Back in the corridor, Cora hugged me without touching my left arm. I filmed everything she said, and I didn't faint. Show off, I said. And we both laughed the way you do when laughter is the only option that won't make something break. Outside, the air had shifted. Afternoon sun pooled on the sidewalk. I sat on the stone steps, unwrapped my hand, and let the light find the swelling. I texted Theo a turtle emoji. He sent back a bunch of violins and a pizza slice. Then a message. Ray told Mom you left your window unlocked last night. Why would he check? The question sat in my chest like a coin dropped in a jar. A small sound. Huge meaning. I picked up the judge's card. The paper was heavy. The ink raised the promise simple. I could get out? Not someday, soon. But escape is cleaner when you know what you're escaping. I needed to know why Ray wanted my hand useless, why he'd been near my window, why his smile had looked like victory when the trunk slammed shut. I stood, tucked the card into my case, and walked to the clinic around the corner. Stitches first, answers next. As I pushed the door open, the bell chimed a bright, ordinary sound that didn't know what waited on the other side of this day. I didn't either, not yet. But when Theo's second text arrived, Aunt Vi says she found your old laptop in Ray's closet, I understood the next move was mine. The clinic smelled like lemon cleaner and snow. A nurse named Lean rinsed my hand and said, "You play, then we're going to be careful." Dr. Chen stitched the split skin with neat patience, his glasses fogging every time he laughed at his own tiny jokes. He showed me how to tape the fingers so the joints stayed free. No heroics, he said. Ice, elevate, short practice only. Call if the color goes weird. I have a private audition, I said. Then your job is to arrive with 10 working tendons, he said. Pain is negotiable, nerve damage is not. Outside, Cora waited with 2 paper cups. Coffee for her, tea for me. She walked me to her old hatchback like I might fall over. Where to? She asked. Aunt Vi's, I said. She found my old laptop in Ray's closet. Cora whistled low. That old silver brick you thought you lost in the move? Yeah. Seatbelt, she said. We're not dying for a spreadsheet. Aunt Vi lived over a laundromat that hummed like a giant cat. She opened the door before we knocked. She is Mom's younger sister by 8 years, the only person in my family who remembers birthdays without Facebook. Her eyes went to my bandaged hand. Sweetheart, she said, pulling me in with her perfume and soft cardigan. I should have called sooner. I was scared. Scared of him, I said. And of making it worse, she admitted. She reached under the couch and slid out a tote. Inside was my old laptop wrapped in a towel with daisies on it. He asked me to keep it for him, said he didn't trust the house. Then I saw your name on the login. Why would he hide my laptop, I asked. Same reason he hides everything she said. Control looks like tidying when you don't watch close. We set the computer on the coffee table. The charger was taped in 2 places, Ray's favorite fix. I powered it up and typed my old password. The screen bloomed with my desktop photo Theo at the summer festival mouth blue from shaved ice turtle tucked under his arm. My throat pinched. I opened the mail app. The inbox was cleared except for promotions. Trash was empty. He wiped it, I said. Start with the downloads, Cora said, sliding beside me. Nobody deletes those. There it was. A folder called Tax 2019, another called Job, and one called SCH Loan. I clicked. Inside were PDFs, my birth certificate scanned, my social security card scanned. A picture of my driver's license I don't remember taking. Applications to credit cards I never wanted. My name everywhere spelled right numbers, all correct. My scalp prickled. He used my info. Cora pointed to another file. Open that. It was a screenshot of a betting app with my email as the username. Balance negative. Under it, a photo of a sticky note that read, Mina Tran maiden name, Mother's B-Day. A few wrong guesses crossed out. The next photo was my mom's high school yearbook page, red pen, circling her last name before she married. Aunt Vi swore under her breath. He's been fishing for security answers. I kept scrolling. A draft email popped up addressed to Northwood Financial Aid. It read, regret to inform you there's been a misunderstanding with Mina's enrollment. She will not be attending. It was unsent. Last edited at 2:14 a.m. 2 nights ago. Cora's jaw tightened. He was going to thank you from inside your inbox. I opened photos. Among old practice clips were fresh images I hadn't taken. My bedroom window from the outside, the sill, the latch, a cheap key blank next to Ray's car keys, a video of the house's back door with the caption, testing gap. Why would he need a key to my room, I whispered. Same reason he slammed the trunk, Cora said. If your hand won't stop, you fear will. I plugged in a flash drive from my case. I copied everything. Then I emailed the files to a new address I made on the spot. I sent a copy to Cora too. I saved the email addresses of every lender listed. I took notes, names, dates, the betting app, the unsent withdrawal letter. Aunt Vi watched the clock. You can stay here a few days, she said. I'll tell your mom you're with me if she asks. She won't ask, I said, but thank you. My phone buzzed. Theo Ray's looking through the closets. He asked where your shoebox is. I told him you took it to Cora's. Did you? I used to keep cash in an old sneaker box under my bed. Tips, birthday tens, emergency quarters. I thought I was clever. I texted back I moved it last week. Thank you for being a spy. He sent a turtle and 3 swords. Another text came in. Mom, where are you? Dinner at 6? Don't be rude. Then a minute later, Ray says, you stole from him. Really? That one made me laugh. The shape of it was familiar. Accuse first, blur lines, make the room spin. I called the judge's number on the card. A calm voice answered. Ellison, she said. Glad you called. My hand is stitched, I said. I can play with tape and a lighter bow. I need a date. She was quiet for a beat. Tuesday at 10, small hall. Bring a pianist if you want one. I want silence, I said. It came out sharper than I meant. She didn't flinch. Then we'll give you a room where the sound can be the sound. After I hung up, Cora texted someone. Jace is coming, she said when I looked at her. He works at his brother's locksmith shop. He can look at your window and tell you if anyone played with it. 15 minutes later, Jace knocked Cap Lohan's clean the way good mechanics keep them. He listened while I explained. He didn't smile. He didn't say it sounded crazy. He set his tool roll on the sill and ran a tiny light along the latch. Scuffing, he said, New. See? He showed us shallow silver kisses on the metal where a thin blade had lifted the tongue. He checked the frame. Also this, a sticker of powder was on the wood, graphite. People dust keys with it so they slide easy. He planned to come in, I said. Or to make it obvious he could, Jay said. Sometimes power is the threat, not the act. He handed me a slip of aluminum that looked like a soda can eyelash. Shim, he said. Tape this on the inside when you lock it. If someone tries to slip the latch, it'll cut the tape. Proof. Cora stared at the laptop. Proof we already have. 2 kinds are better than 1, Jace said. Monsters don't like mirrors from multiple angles. Aunt Vi made noodles with butter garlic and too much pepper. We ate on the floor. It felt like middle school when she used to babysit me and we'd pretend the couch was a castle. At 9, she yawned and said, I'm old. Couch is yours. I'll take the bed. She touched my hair as she passed. It was the kind of touch that says, stay alive. I lay awake listening to the laundromat's warm thunder. My hand pulsed with its own clock. Theo's texts replayed. The window, the closet, the shoebox, the unsent email, the betting balance, the graphite dust, and beneath everything, a question: why were Mom's silences as sharp as Ray's noise? Sometime after midnight, my phone buzzed again. A number I didn't know. A message: check your savings account. Unknown sent a link to a screenshot 2 withdrawals days apart. Both ATM, both cash, both at the gas station near our house. I recognized the grainy security cam in the corner. I recognized the shape of the shoulders in the reflection. Ray's jacket? The one with the frayed cuffs he calls his lucky coat. Who are you? I typed. A dot pulsed. Stopped. Another message arrived. You don't know me. You bag groceries at night. You gave me a free muffin once when my card declined. Thought you should know who's eating your money. Then a final line, don't text back. I have a kid. I didn't text back. I stared at the ceiling and let the room settle around a new truth. Not everyone was asleep on my side of town. Some people were watching the same door and hoping for a different morning. At dawn, the sky looked like an erased chalkboard. I slipped on Cora's sweatshirt and went downstairs. The laundromat had a bulletin board near the change machine covered in lost pet notices and flyers for bands with names like The Maples. I pinned a small envelope behind a poster that read, Free Kittens. Inside a note, if you ever need help, ask for Mina at Martelli's Bakery. Password turtle? I don't know why. Maybe because being saved by strangers is easier if you get to be one too. When I got back, Cora was up. She tossed me a banana and a plan. You go to work. Look normal. I'll take this laptop to Farah at the community center. She runs the free legal clinic on Wednesdays. She knows who to call to map this to something with teeth. You think this can have teeth? I asked. It already does, she said. We're learning where they attach. I texted Theo good morning. He sent a photo of his cereal like it was proof of life. I asked if Mom was home. He wrote no. She left early. Said she had to go with Ray to the bank. Of course she did. I walked to the bus stop with my violin case hanging light across my back. My hand ached. The tape tugged. But under the pain, I could feel something else. A new note. A quiet one. Not sorrow, not fear. More like a string tuned up slowly until it catches the right pitch. It was the sound of a plan forming. At Martelli's, the mixer thumped and the ovens breathed. My boss, Sylvia, eyed my bandage and said nothing. She slid a tray of morning buns toward me. Can you sugar with one hand? I can do anything with one hand, I said. She snorted. Tell me about it and set out another tray. Just after noon, Mr. Leon, the security guard from the strip mall, came in for his usual ham on rye. He is 60 kind and knows everyone's car by license plate. He leaned on the counter. Saw your folks at the ATM this morning, he said, casual the way you say you saw a dog in a sweater. Your stepdad tried to help your mom with her pin. She smacked his hand away. He chuckled. She's got fire. Or she wanted to look like she did. I handed him a cookie on the house and said, thanks for watching.
All we day.
When my shift ended, I checked my phone. Cora Farah says we're fine. Digital paper trail is good. She wants a clean confrontation if possible. No shouting, no bruises, a reveal, an audience. Also, Jace changed your window screws to security heads. And I bought you a new lock for your case because he thinks Ray tried it. I typed Tuesday 10 a.m. audition. I want the reveal before that. I want to walk in clean. Cora replied with 3 check marks and a skull. For his lucky coat, she wrote. I walked to the bus stop in the late light. The sky had thinned to a pale blue that looked like it could tear. I thought about the things I could control, my breath, my bow-hold, where I kept my evidence. I thought about the things I couldn't. Other people's shutters, other people's locks, other people's hunger. My phone buzzed one more time. Unknown again, a video clip this time. Gas station camera, a side angle of Ray at the ATM. He tapped the screen. He smiled at someone just out of frame. Then he raised his middle finger to the camera like the world was a joke he'd told 100 times. The clip ended. A final text followed. Next time he'll wear a hat. Use this while it's ugly. I tucked the phone away and felt the note in my chest resolve. Not loud. True, Tuesday would come. Before that, there would be a dinner. A table, an envelope, a calm voice, a mirror. I was ready to hold it up. Plans need rooms. Farah gave us one. The free legal clinic was a spare classroom with bad lighting and the best kind of quiet. She drew a simple map on the whiteboard. Evidence. Safety, confrontation. Exit. We go in that order, she said. No heroics, no improvising. Monsters love chaos. We give them structure and make them choke on it. I nodded. My hand throbbed under the tape. Cora took notes like a court reporter. Step 1 was boring and powerful. I froze my credit. I set alerts on every account. I changed my email passwords and security questions to answers that were jokes only Theo would get. Favorite teacher turtle, first car bus. I forwarded copies of the betting app screenshots, the ATM clip, and the unsent conservatory email to a new folder named Receipts. I printed everything. Paper is slow, but it doesn't vanish when someone smashes a phone. Farah dialed the bank on speaker. Her voice turned into glass. We are reporting fraudulent withdrawals, she said. We request camera pulls and timestamps. She read off the transaction numbers. When the rep asked to speak to the account holder, she handed me the phone. I said my name and kept my voice like water. The rep scheduled a fraud interview for Monday morning. Bring ID, she said. Bring documentation. I glanced at our stack. We had a forest. Safety was next. Jace replaced the screws on my window with security heads that looked like stars. He added the shim and showed me how to tape it so the cut would be clean. He gave Aunt Vi a new deadbolt and wedged a door bar under the knob. Paranoid is just prepared with a head start, he said. I moved what mattered to Aunt Vi's and Cora's trunks. Birth certificate, Theo's drawings, my grandmother's jade pendant on a frayed red cord. The violin slept beside my bed like a guard dog. At lunch, I called the conservatory and asked for Ellison's office. This is Mina Tran, I said. Someone tried to send a withdrawal letter from my email. It wasn't me. We received nothing, her assistant said. Thank you for the alert. Can you note my file, I asked. She did. The click of her keyboard felt like another bolt sliding into place. We needed an audience. Farah was firm. You don't scream truth in a vacuum. You set it on a table where other people can see it. That way, when the story starts twisting, there are already witnesses holding the straight line. The universe petty as ever delivered. Mom texted dinner Sunday. Ray's boss is coming. Don't embarrass yourself. Perfect. Cora smirked. We bring salad, she said, and receipts. Calm, Farah reminded. You are not the storm. You are the mirror. She handed me a thin recorder the size of a pack of gum. You are allowed to record in your own home in this state. Keep it in your pocket. If voices start to rise, leave. You won't win a volume contest. You'll win later with tape. Saturday? I worked the Dawn bake and iced cinnamon rolls with my right hand while my left rested on a bag of peas. Sylvia hummed a Sinatra song under her breath and didn't ask anything she knew I couldn't say out loud at a bakery counter. At noon, Mr. Leon came by and tapped his watch. Cameras run on loops, he said. Tell your bank not to stall. They'll tape over Tuesday by Friday. He winked. Mondays are good days for truth. That afternoon, I practiced with a lighter bow and slower pieces. Scales, long tones. I focused on sound, not speed. Tape tugged at my skin with each vibrato. The ache blurred into the tone. I played the sarabande once and stopped when my fingers started to swell. I promised my hand I would not betray it to prove a point. Theo called from the sliding door behind the house. He whispered like we were in a spy movie. Ray's in the garage, he said. He's mad at the red toolbox. He keeps saying, where is it? Where's Mom, I asked. In the bedroom, he said. She's doing her nails. She's listening to music. She's not dancing. Stay away from the garage, I said. Read a book in your fort. He lowered his voice. I put the turtle under your old pillow, the green one, for luck. I swallowed. Keep the turtle with you, I said. You're the luck. He giggled. Okay. When the sun went down, I walked past our house. The living room window was open an inch. I could hear the sports channel and Ray's laugh, the one that sounds like someone closing a zipper fast. Mom's voice came in, soft, one word here. One word there, like she was feeding a small animal from her palm. Above them, my old window was dark. The shim's tape looked whole. I kept walking. Sunday felt like the kind of day that watches you back. I wore a navy dress with small white stitches around the cuffs. My hand was taped neat. I slid the recorder into my pocket and the envelope of prints into my bag. Cora drove. She wore a wool coat and a stare that could split wood. We go in for an hour, she said. If he gets loud, we're gone. Copy, I said. Inside the house looked staged. New candles. The rug vacuumed in lines. Mom had straightened the photo frames so they all faced the couch, not the door. She opened the door with a smile that looked stapled on. You could have worn something brighter, she said, eyes flicking to my bandage and then away. Ray's boss brought a Pinot. Don't drink too much. I'm 20, I said. Right, she said as if I'd tricked her. Ray appeared behind her in his lucky coat, the cuffs more frayed than before. He glanced at my hand. His mouth twitched. He touched the small of Mom's back like a warning. Company's here, he said to me, smile. No violin tonight. We don't need a pity performance. We don't, I said and smiled anyway. Ray's boss, Tom, had shaved eyebrows and a belly that stretched his belt. His wife, Denise, wore bright lipstick and a diamond ring that caught the light every time she moved her hand. They were polite in that shiny way people are when they know they are being measured. Dinner was roast chicken and potatoes. Mom set out the good plates with the blue rim and the chips nobody mentions. Small talk bounced. Tom moaned about permits. Denise asked me about school. I said I was auditioning Tuesday. She clapped, genuinely delighted. How wonderful, break a leg. Ray snorted. He waited for eye contact. I did not give it to him. Mom brought salad. Her hands shook when she set the bowl down. She laughed too quickly at Tom's joke. She poured wine for everyone but me. When she sat, she looked at Ray like you look at a dog you hope will not bite. Time stretched and snapped. Cora kept the conversation floating. She is gifted at that keeping air in a room. When plates were cleared, I stood and slid the envelope onto the tablecloth. I brought dessert, I said. Denise laughed. Oh, good. I didn't want to be the first to ask. It's not cake, I said. Ray leaned back. Uh-oh, he said. He laced his fingers over his stomach like a king in a bad play. Here comes the sermon. Not a sermon, I said, and kept my voice level. A story with documents. I laid the first print on the table, the ATM still. Lucky coat. Frayed cuffs. No face, just a jacket and a watch with a cracked band Ray never takes off. I set it between the salt and pepper. Someone's been using my account, I said. Here's the time and place. Tom squinted. Looks like a guy in a jacket. Second page, I slid out Mr. Leon's note ATM address timestamps. Third page, the betting app. My email is the username, a red negative balance. Cora tapped the name. Not her handwriting, not her habit, not her idea. Ray gave a short laugh. You kids and your apps. Fourth page, an unsent email to the conservatory, regret to inform drafted at 2:14 a.m. Our kitchen clock is loud then. I know who's awake. Denise frowned. Why would someone do that? Good question, I said, looking at Mom. She smoothed a smooth tablecloth. Fifth page, I said. Photos from my phone, my bedroom window latch, graphite dust, a brand-stamped key, blank. Taken while my old laptop sat in Ray's closet. Tom shifted. What are you alleging? I'm not alleging, I said softly. I'm presenting. Ray's jaw worked. He slapped the table. Glasses jumped. Please don't hit the table, I said. Theo's upstairs reading. Ray lit up like a match. Oh, you're the parent now. Think you're better because you scratch a dead cat with horsehair. Under the table, Cora's fingers tapped once. The recorder in my pocket hummed. Last page, Jace's close-up of the latch fresh-cut taped slice shim. This was Friday, 11:21 p.m., laundromat clock across the street matches. I was at Aunt Vi's. She was with me. The house was locked. Tom swallowed. Denise set down her glass. Mom's eyes clouded, cleared, clouded again. Ray jabbed the photo. Everybody owns a jacket. I folded my hands. Mom, I asked, did you go to the bank with it? Her lips pressed thin. We pay bills. With my money. Silence. Dishwasher hum. Siren outside. Theo turned a page upstairs. I didn't know, she whispered. He said he'd put it back. He said you wouldn't get into that school. Thank you, I said, not for the choice, for the truth. Ray shoved his chair, reached for the envelope. I set my hand on the stack. Touch it and we all leave. He froze. I looked at Tom and Denise. If your employee asks for a reference, show him this. If he says I'm crazy, ask about the graphite on my window, the draft on my laptop, the lucky coat at my bank. Chairs scraped. Dinner was over whether the plates knew it or not. I turned to Mom. I have a private audition Tuesday at 10. I'm going. I won't answer texts. I'm not coming home tonight. Theo leaves this house by next weekend either with me or Aunt Vi. If not, this goes to a detective, a judge, and a feed bigger than this table. You will not, Ray began. I already did, I said, tapping the recorder. Theo patted downstairs. Is it dessert? Almost, I said. Grab your turtle. On the porch, the air bit colder than it should. You were a mirror, Cora said. Did they see themselves? They will when the light changes. At Aunt Vi's, we split copies, Farah, Aunt Vi, Cora. Unknown number buzzed. He'll come for the papers. Hide doubles. We cut our lights a block early. Jace handed me a stick-on window alarm for Theo's door. Loud beats brave. Inside, I packed Theo fast socks jacket turtle tucked under his chin. The alarm's red dot blinked awake. Floorboard, who's there? Ray snapped. Me, taking Theo. At night, you didn't ask. I told Mom. He eyed my violin. Leave it. It's not yours. You think scales pay rent? Tonight you're buying nothing, I said. Theo's hand tightened in mine. A single honk outside Cora's code. Mr. Leon's flashlight washed the glass. Ray hates witnesses. He stepped back. In the car, Theo buckled himself. He was mad. He's often mad, Cora said, but anger doesn't get to drive. At 12:04 a.m., Jace texted tape cut. 12:07, he's inside. Farah, don't go in. Call from the curb, make it a statement. Blue lights rinsed the block. I showed officers the slit tape, shim screenshots, the unsent email. Facts, not fury. We retrieved my violin documents, Theo's backpack. Next morning, the bank locked accounts and issued a temp card. The school refused Ray's dentist pickup. Officer Kim backed them. Mom called voice thin. Temporary, they said. Then garage rafters old paint can false bottom. We pulled a ledger slips key blank photocopied IDs. Detective Martinez case number timeline temporary protective order in motion. Tuesday at 10 I played. Ellison stood. Full scholarship. Housing. Protect those hands like a cathedral. Farah's text TPO granted. He's been served. Employer put him on unpaid leave. Save forward ignore. I kept the shim and a sliver of tape not to live backward but to remember how small an act can be and still turn a lock. Now I sleep with the window cracked and lock it when I choose. Choice is a lullaby. Choice is a, if it were you, leave sooner. Stay for your mother, drag the truth into daylight earlier, or did the timing teach what you needed?